many, many years ago, 560 million years ago, to be exact, almost. We were a race of beings. We did not start on this planet. We did not come from apes. We came from a level of higher evolution. And we had a genetic code that had 12 strands of DNA activated within it. That 12-strand pattern is called the silicate matrix. And the silicate matrix still remains as a dormant potential within the humans of today. That's what these classes are about. We have the abilities within us, if we can understand what the process of DNA evolution and how that applies to our consciousness, if we can understand this process, we can bring those potentials of 12 strands of DNA back into activation. Now, we have 2 identified strands, as far as our scientific community knows. And we attribute things, the genetic characteristics, eye color, hair color, disease sometimes, to genetic factors. There are levels of DNA structure that are even below that. There are base structures of DNA. And when we get into this, we're getting into something called chelantic morphogenetic science. It's the science of morphogenetic fields. Morphogenetic fields are the form-holding blueprints that create grids of electromagnetic energy upon which matter particles can compose themselves to form matter forms. So when we're dealing with our DNA, we are dealing with a level that's even below that is the morphogenetic field. In the course that we're going to do today, there was some very interesting new information given to me, and that's why I'm excited to present it to the people who've had the material from before, and I'm trying to figure out how to present it to the people who haven't, because it's the next level up. Very quickly speaking, in the silicate matrix, which we are trying to activate in our DNA through these classes, there are 12 strands of DNA. They are double heli. You have 1 magnetic heli and 1 electrical heli. So you have 12 of those. That's the basic structure. Most of them are dormant right now. Most of us on the planet right now have an accretion level, which is the DNA activation level, of between 3 and 3.5. Our scientists see 1 double helix. That is because there are particles that vibrate at a different angle of rotation and vibrate at a slower pulse than our particles in our perceptual field and the perceptual field of our instruments, and there are ones that vibrate higher. DNA is stacked in an overlay form, and you will only be able to perceive from any one system the portions of the particles that vibrate within that system. So right now, we don't have the instrumentation here. Well, actually we do. The physical body has the ability to see those multidimensional scales, but they're not able to see them with scientific instrumentation. But we are dealing with an overlay structure of 12 DNA strands, most of which are dormant. Okay? Some of this knowledge has been kept alive in our cultures since ancient times. It was protected in the ancient mystery schools. There were mystery schools in Egypt that protected a large portion of it. There were Hebrew mystery schools that protected a large portion of it. But nobody had the full picture of what was going on. Some of them understood the concept of triggering things in the DNA to make evolution accelerate, and also to be able to move your consciousness and your body out of this 3-dimensional field. But it was a very hush-hush science, and everybody's trying to figure out exactly how it worked. They had the pieces, but nobody seemed to have the whole plan. We are very, very gifted in our time, because the beings of higher evolution, which do exist, who do know these things, they have kept this knowledge from us for a long time in order for us to evolve to a point where we were peaceful beings. And once we had the power that this knowledge would give us, we wouldn't go and destroy other systems. And that's why it has been kept from us. In the time period we're in, because some of the things that we're coming up on in the next 18 years, a decision was made in the councils of higher evolution that this information would be given because the continued quality of our survival would be dependent on whether or not we could learn certain things very quickly and create activations in our DNA. If we can activate certain portions of the dormant silicate matrix, we will be able to accommodate certain electromagnetic changes that are going to happen on the planet much better than if we did not do those activations. So the class that